Hi guys, welcome back to Ryan's Ridge. December, a couple of days from Christmas now. Just thought I'd do a quick update. Done a couple of new things here that I'd like to share with you, and let's get into it. So up here, put a clock. Just look at the temperature. It's starting to get quite warm here down in Australia. It's currently 31 degrees. And moving on along, I've got a sanding tower here in the depot. It's been scratch built by a friend of mine, Gary Coombs, up in the club that I'm in. Nothing new here except for this another house that I've 3D printed. I've given it the basics. I've still got to weather it up and put some glass in for the windows, and then do the bit of scenery around here. It's sort of a bit of an old track at the end of the line. What else have we got? I did fix this, I mentioned in the last video, and I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. There's absolutely no issues at all there now with the drop down drawbridge, and with this part of the track locos going over. I've started to put the scenery in here. As you can see, still got a lot more to do, but the basics are there, and there's no longer that plywood look anymore. I think there's probably about 100 odd trees up on there. One of the biggest things that I've done over the last couple of months is started to automate the turnouts. So I'm just going to come down here, and just above the 3D printer you can see up in here, here's one of them. It's a DCC Concepts IP motor. There's a couple more up in there, probably a bit hard to see. I haven't done the whole layout. I've done about 13 of them at the moment. I'm quite happy with how they've turned out. They Cobalt IP motors, turnout motors, pretty easy to set up, and I like how they work. What I've also done is built a panel in JRMI of the layout and for the switching. So it's a bit of an overview up there, and with the click of a mouse I can change the turnout. It's also a good visual on the way the track's laid. And just panning around, I don't think there's much else here. I did put in a little bit of a scene over here with some guys working on an engine in the service yard. But other than that, everything else is pretty well the same as last video. This layout is built to be an operational layout, and I have got this laptop that slides out underneath the layout, and I've got this software here which is the STS software, and it's developed via Tom Edwards in the US. Big shout out to Tom, and I find this is a lot better than using car cards. You can basically, you generate your orders here, it gives you random orders, you fill your car orders here. I think there's a couple in here that need to be filled, and then you can reposition empties, and then also build your switch list. Just on that, I thought I'd sort of touch on the operations a little bit and go around the layout. So essentially the layout is built around this brewery up here, and this brewery is Scrumpy Brewing. They manufacture the world's finest lager, and they've been established since 1906. So this whole complex here is Scrumpy Brewing. And this track over here is inbound, so all the bottles, hops and cardboard boxes and such, they all come in through there. Once the produce is been brewed, it all exit out of this track over here. Now this is all set up in STS, and it puts a random demand on bringing product in or sending product out. The other parts of the layout is I've got the scrapyard in here. It gets empty gons in, and we get them loaded up with scrap, and then they head on out and go out onto the main line. We've got frozen food depot here, so this is frozen produce, all comes in via road and it all heads out via rail. And we've got the grain silo over here, and that speaks for itself. And then up the back there is the packaging plant for the brewery, and it basically has bottles on one side and cardboard boxes on the other. So currently there's 6 boxcars in there getting loaded with boxes and bottles, and when I tell it in STS that they're loaded, they'll the road switcher will come down and bring it all down and then unload it into Scrumpy Brewing. Over here is the yard. I call this South Yard, and it's basically a holding facility for empty cars, and as the demand is put on, then the road switcher will come over and grab the cars that are required. Each car is in the system, it's in STS with the number, and then you select the cars, and then you've got to come over here, dig them out and take them over to the relevant industry. Once the boxcars are fully loaded, such as the gondolas or from over at Scrumpy Brewing outbound, they're brought over. I bring them over here onto this track, and in this track here, I build up a train. I sort of get 8 to 10 cars, and then I send them on their way to be delivered, exported, and essentially take them out onto what I call the main line. And that main line is basically doing a couple of laps around the layout, and after I've done a couple of laps, everything ends up unloaded, empty, and back here in the holding yard for the process to start again. So I've started to put a couple of these schematics around. So if I am on the Wii throttle, I can change the point motors as need be, and instead of having to come back to the laptop to do it, or I can do it all from the laptop. That's about it really. I haven't got much more to update on that. The 3D printer has been relatively quiet over the last couple of days, and nothing new to report on there. What I might do is in my next video, I'm going to wrap this up in a minute, but the next time I do a video, I might actually do a little bit of an operating session, and just to show you guys how the basics of STS works and move a couple of cars around. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.